Hi, kindergarten. I'm hoping you can see me okay and see the poster behind me. Today we're going to do a little bit of comparing and contrasting after we read a little story read aloud together. I will also be using this poster to compare and contrast two types of transportation. And if you remember, a lot of our stories that we're reading have different means of transportation. Transportation, if you remember, is different ways that we can get from here to there. So you can get from here to there on a bike, in a car, on a bus, on a train. And this little story read aloud that we're going to read today is a story about two vans, all right? We're going to compare them, which means how are these two vans alike? And we're also going to contrast them, which means how are these two vans different, all right? And then we're going to do a little fun little comparing and contrasting over another two means of transportation that I have. All right, so I want you to listen, but before I do that, I want you to help me compare and contrast the two bikes on this page, okay? So I'm gonna hold it up. Do you notice something that's different? We're gonna contrast them first. What's different about the bikes when you look at them? Automatically you notice that their color is different, right? This bike is purple, this bike is red. What else do you notice that's different about them? We're contrasting. I'm gonna bring it a little closer. You notice that the back of this red bike has what's called training wheels and the purple bike doesn't. So on your bike, you might actually still be riding with training wheels, which is totally fine. It just helps you balance better, right? And then when you get the hang of riding a bike, you can take those training wheels off. All right, now let's compare them, which means you're going to tell me how are they alike. How are they alike? Do you notice? What do you have to hold on to when you ride a bike that every bike should have, unless you're in the circus with like no hands, right? You don't want to ride a bike with not using your hands unless you're like really good at it, right? Which I don't ever try that at home. All right, let's see. It has handlebars. These two bikes have handlebars. And then look, they both have a front and back wheel, right? And what do they both have here? What do we need to do when we ride a bike? We need to sit down. So they both have a seat, they both have handlebars, and they both have front and back tires. Awesome, guys. Awesome job, guys. You just helped me compare and contrast. So I'm going to read a little story, and I want you to think about, like I said, how are these two vans that I read about alike, and how are they different? We're going to compare and contrast. Remember, when we compare, we're finding out what's similar or what's alike, and when we contrast, we're finding out what is different about them. All right, so I'm going to sit in this little chair and let you guys listen to the story. Remember, just like we do in school, we usually like to read it through twice before we answer the question. So if you need to pause or rewind this, you can go ahead and do that. All right. All right, boys and girls, the story that we're going to read today is called Two Vans. Amy's dad helps people move from one house to another. He and his crew pack people's things into boxes. Then they put the boxes into a big moving van. They carry the people's furniture out and put it all into the van. They pack everything carefully so it will fit in the van. Then they drive to the people's new house, take everything out of the van, and put it into the new house. Josh's dad drives a van for his job too. He is a carpenter. A carpenter, boys and girls, is somebody who builds things out of wood, like they can make furniture such as tables and chairs, okay? So his dad was a carpenter. His van is much smaller than the big moving van. It's full of tools. Sometimes he carries boards in it to use when he is building a new kitchen or garage. Many people use vans to do their jobs. Their jobs are different, and so are their vans. All right, so we just read a story about two vans, and we're going to get ready to compare and contrast. So I'm going to ask you some questions. If you need to take some time right now to review the story again, go ahead and do that, and I'll wait here for you. All right, boys and girls, here is a few questions. The first question I have is, are the vans alike or different in what they carry? Are the two vans alike or different in what they carry? They are different. Remember, what was in Amy's dad's van? Do you remember? His moving van. It was full of furniture, right? They were using it to move their furniture. What was Josh's dad's van holding? What was his cargo? What was in there? Do you remember? He was a carpenter, so he was using the van to store his tools, all right? All right, so good job, guys. We just said that they're different. We contrasted those two vans, right? You told me how they were different. Now, here comes another question. What is in the moving van? This is Amy's dad's van. What is in the moving van? Very good. It was the family's belongings. And you can, right now, if you remember moving, some of you might have already moved into another house since you were in your first house already. I know Liam and Jenna, we've lived here since they've been born, so they have never really been to a new house yet. But if you've ever been in the process of moving, you know that you need a really big van to move all your belongings. And that's what was in their van, lots of their belongings. All right? Here comes another question. What is in the carpenter's van? What was in his van? Do you remember? His tools and his wood. Awesome job, guys. All right, so you can talk about more about comparing and contrasting through our stories we read this week. We're also going to read a really big book that's related to still different means of transportation. And I am right now going to help you compare and contrast the truck and the bus. All right, so at the end I will zoom in a little bit closer so that you guys can help me look at that more closely, the Venn diagram with me. But remember, when we talk about the Venn diagram, this is where we're going to write all about the truck, and this is where we're going to write all about the bus. So we're going to contrast them. We're going to write what's different here, and the things that they have in common we're going to keep in the middle. That's what's called alike. So things that they have that are the same or alike, we're going to keep in the middle. Things that they have that are different, that's what we're going to keep in these sections. That's contrasting. This is comparing. All right, so I'll be right back. I'm going to grab my markers. And you guys are going to try to help me. Let's look, and I know I did my best drawings here. This is the green truck, and this is the yellow bus. But what do you notice about both of them? I noticed something. Truck, bus. Did you notice our letter of the week is in here? Maybe I'll try to circle or underline it. Here's letter U, guys. Letter U says right? We hear it in both the truck, bus. All right. So let's see how the truck and the bus are different. Can anyone tell me before we try to work together? What's different about the truck and the bus? Let's look at their wheels. Do you notice something that's different? Which vehicle has more wheels? Is it the truck or the bus? You got it. The truck has more wheels. The bus, in total, only has 2 tires in the front, 2 tires in the back. But the truck has many wheels. All right, so I'm going to write that. The truck has more wheels. And we said that the bus has less wheels. All right. What else do you think if we contrast them in size? Which vehicle looks smaller? Do you think it's the truck or do you think it's the bus? Which vehicle looks smaller? Good job, guys. The bus looks smaller than the truck. So I'm going to write the word smaller because this looks smaller, and I'm going to write the word bigger because this vehicle looks bigger. Awesome. All right, let's think of how they're alike. How are they alike? They're both means of transportation, right? So I'll write that word. They both help things or people move from here to there, right? Transportation. And what else would be something that they would have that's alike or the same? Would you see both of these people as helpers in the community? Would the bus driver be helping people? Yes, they might be helping to take children to school Or if they drive the SEPTA bus, they might be helping to help a person travel from to and from. How do truck drivers help us? They help deliver cargo or goods. So the truck here, they might deliver, like I said, goods, which known as cargo, and the bus, they help people. But they both are alike in the way that they help out in our community. So they're helpful in our community, if I can fit that big word. And they're helpful in our community because right now, boys and girls, those trucks are working really hard to deliver those goods to the grocery store, right? And when we go to school each day, some of you might even take a bus, all right? And some of your parents might even be getting to work from a bus. So they're both really important to have in our community. But I just figured out another difference. Remember, the truck, they carry cargo, right, or goods. So I'm going to write that. They carry cargo, and cargo is known, and I'll put that in parentheses, as goods, right? That could be food, they could have furniture, stuff like that. But a bus wouldn't have things like cargo. They would help carry people, right, in the bus. So I'm going to write people, just as a little keyword there, that you know that people ride the bus and the trucks are holding cargo. So that's another difference. Great job today, guys, helping me compare and contrast the truck and the bus. Remember, it's important to know how to compare and contrast so that you can learn to become a better reader. I'm going to zoom in now and let you guys see your hard work that you just did with me. Give yourselves a really big pat on the back. You did a great job today. Thank you for helping me, and I'll see you soon. Bye.